I just want to welcome everyone, and as I try not to get emotional after working with most of you for 35 plus years now, I just want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do to make this office successful and be examples and leaders for the other regional offices. There's a lot of tenure in the other offices as well, but I think I'll go to Steve or Jamie, if you added everybody's years up, what would be the number here in this room? Like 500?
I would say more than that.
Okay.
I'd say between 5 and 800 or 800. I mean,
it's up there.
It's a lot.
I'm trying to, when you're trying to harmonize somebody, you try to explain that to, somebody that I'm slowly roping into harmonizing. David, well, I'll introduce him here in a minute. Well, the pandemic seems like a distant memory when we embrace the strength and success of how Harman's got through it successfully, once again, all together as a community and just being who we are, Harmans. Since the pandemic, we have had the privilege of joining and engaging with each other in the office and really doing some fun events. Like, can you believe a year ago we were doing the golf tournament here in this spring day in office? A year ago. Feels like it just blazed by. In other words, it was like one of our first fun events that gave us a face-to-face opportunity. And as we celebrated our humanity once again, I want to share a quote that I learned recently. There are 3 things that we must do every day to make it one heck of a day. We need to spend some time in thought. We need to laugh every day. And sometimes we need to move our emotions to tears because it's healthy. And I've had the privilege to witness and share so many different stories and experience where we have shared those 3 things I just mentioned that are very dear to me. And at Harman's, I want to remind all of you that the impact your talent, once again, and contributions makes to our office, we seriously could not do any of this without you. So give yourselves a round of applause. All right, without further hesitation, I had attended a hospitality event in San Francisco about a couple months ago, where there was probably about 500 plus hospitality industry, from meeting planners to hoteliers, and I happened to ride the elevator down with this gentleman next to me. And I was struck by his persona, his presence, and he was a speaker at this hospitality event that I attended. So without further hesitation, I'm going to introduce David Stevens to you. He is a 20-year veteran planner, 6 times fitness male, an honor achieved by topping the occupational leaderboard of the annual CrossFit Games Open. He has planned meetings, events, and incentives for media, live entertainment, agency, association, and corporate organizations. You are a Delos Wellness for meetings and event certificate holds, and he is a pandemic meeting event design certified, and he is recognized by a number of industry organizations for his contributions to improving wellness in the sector. He credits his ability to creating memorable experiences for event attendees to the clarity he gleans from workouts and mental breaks. He's co-founder of event wellness consulting firm Olympian Meeting, where he co-authored along with a medical doctor and nutrition coach. Maybe you can touch upon who those people are.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so please give a warm welcome to David Stevens, who's going to take it from here. I love this guy.
Hi, everybody. It's very exciting to be here. Thank you for having me. Yeah, a little bit. You're like, oh, great, a wellness guy. Wonderful. Wellness is this sometimes polarizing topic. We're going to talk a little bit about it before that, but actually, then we're gonna get some movement in. So, how many people worked out today? Great, you're going to get in another one. And for those of you that didn't, we're going to do a little one. It's not going to be anything intense. It's going to be very chair friendly. It's just really going to be some movement to get the blood flowing so that we learn more. We did a lot of research to talk to the people in my camp who helped us write this white paper. My wife is an ER doctor and a nutritionist, and my co-founder is, she's the other half of the business, which I call OM. So we're called Olympian Meeting. I'm the fitness crazy nut job, I want to be screamed at in a boot camp type person, and she's the other end of the spectrum. the Ohm person. So, because fitness is a spectrum, wellness is a spectrum, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. So everything we talk about today, I actually just read a report from McKinsey, is evidence and science backed. We're not wellness influencers that just got a bunch of likes because we're hot and 21 and we look trim online. We actually went out and did the research and the studies to find how wellness impacts learning. So that's why we're going to move. Is anybody worried about this? Okay. All right. We're going to start with this. You want to turn the music back on?
Yeah.
All right. So first we're going to start up. Everybody's going to stand up. Get out of your chair. Okay. You're going to need to spread out so you have arm distance. So we're probably going to fill up the room. And this is going to feel a little bit like the hokey pokey. So now you can put your arms down. And I'm going to walk you through what we're going to do, and then we're all going to do it together. And then you can sit back down. So you're going to take your one arm, whichever one you choose. I love that people automatically do it when I said you don't have to do it yet.
They don't listen.
We're going to fix that. And you're going to count down from 5 out loud. So you're going to count, and you'll shake your arm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you'll do the other arm, the other leg, or one leg, and then the other leg. Then we're going to go through again, but we're going to start at 4. Anybody been in like theater before or improv? You might be familiar with this then. So now we're going to put our arms out. And out loud, pick an arm that you're going to start with. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other arm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One leg, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other leg, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arm, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other arm, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Done. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, we can leave it. It's fine. Okay. Everyone can have a seat now. You know, this is insightful to me about crowds and how behavioral friendly they are or not. Okay, so we're just going to do some chair work and just keep that movement going. We got our blood going.
Is it considered charity work?
Not.
Okay.
Can we mute him?
Long story.
Okay, and we're just going to start. We're going to sit up straight in our chair, drop your shoulders back, and we're going to do some neck rolls. So you can close your eyes so you don't see everyone else doing it, and they don't see you. And we're just going to do 5 clockwise neck rolls, and we'll start with drop your chin to your chest and around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to go back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hopefully nobody's dizzy. That's just me.
I'm failing miserably today.
Okay, next we're going to do shoulder shrugs and rolls, and we're going to do these 10 times. So we're going to bring our shoulders up towards your ears, hold for 3 seconds, and then release. We'll do it again. Up, 2, 3, down, up again, 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 2, 3, down, 2 more, up, 2, 3, down, up, 2, 3, and down. Okay. Now we're going to roll our shoulders forward 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm glad everyone knew what forward meant. And then the opposite way, 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now this one is chair optional. If you want, you can stand up, but we're going to do twists. So if you feel better standing up, you're welcome to it. I like that everyone stood up. So we're really just going to twist and hold. That's the trick. And once you feel like you're there, try to twist a little more and hold. 3, 2, 1. Come back to the center, shake it out, and we're going to go the other way. 3, 2, 1, and back, center, shake it out. We'll do it again. If you are using the chair, you're welcome to use the chair to hold on to pull that little extra stretch. 2, 1, back to center. Other side. Reach a little more. 2, 1, back to center. We'll do it one more time. Back and reach a little more. And back. And other side. And reach a little bit. All right, and back. Okay, next we're going to do seated leg extensions. Unless you want to stand and do these, which that will be impressive to watch. All right, you're going to sit upright in your chair, and you're going to pick a leg, and you're going to extend it, and you're going to hold for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other leg, out. 3, 2, 1, down. And we're going to do it again. We're going to do 10 times each leg. And up. Down, switch. 1, down, switch. Down, switch. Down, switch. Down and switch. Down and switch. Down and switch. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is, this is another one that's optional. You can use the chair or not. We're just going to do some squats. Yay.
You squat in a chair.
You stand up. That's it. So what we're going to do, this is going to be an optional one. And so this is one of those basic movements that actually, as we get older, because inevitably the march of time is something we can't stop, this is what gets people into trouble as they get older and they lose mobility, is being able to get up from a chair, that kind of thing. So if you want, you don't have to use a chair. You can just do free air squats. But what we're going to do is we're going to set a timer for a minute, and it's up to you. You can go full send and do as many as you can in a minute, or you can just work nice and consistently for a minute. So it's time to make your choices. Everybody stand up. You're either going to use your chair or not. You can also do it behind your chair and hold on to your chair, but you're also welcome to just simply sit down to the chair and stand back up. That's what I meant by chair squats.
Okay.
So, but if you're comfortable with an air squat and you wore the right pants today, I don't want this to get embarrassing for anyone. So, in 2, 1, let's go. We got 45 seconds left.
Oh, we're gonna.
You have 911 on speed dial.
30 seconds.
Everybody's gonna start calling Achilles, right?
15. We're almost there. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're done. Okay, that concludes that portion of the presentation. Now you just get to sit down. Oh, you can turn the music off. In Margaritaville, it's always 5 o'clock. I just came back from the one in Texas, and outside of Houston, they had, for lunch one day, they had a build your own poke bowl experience. Oh my God, it was amazing. Okay, all right, so a little bit about me. I'm breathing too, so apologies. I put in the work. So one of the things I did was I worked for 24 Hour Fitness at their corporate headquarters. They are mostly, actually they're 100% company-owned brand. And I ran all the internal meetings and events and incentives, which was interesting because I sat in the payroll department of all things. It's a very interesting way that it was structured. But either way, it taught me how to plan differently. And the reason I'm talking about this is framing it, that I learned how to plan meetings for people who fitness was a primary concern. I had bodybuilders, D1 athletes, things of that nature that were working there, and when they came, they couldn't be off their meal plans. So I had to ask people, are you trying to gain weight? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you gonna be on a cheat day? So we had to have like egg whites, bacon, whole fruit, cookies, donuts, grilled chicken, ribs. Like it was kind of all over the place when it came to food because we had this wide variety that we had to cater to. And that made me realize that dietary restrictions at events are not exclusionary, they're inclusionary. And when people that are that regimented go on a cheat day, you guys wouldn't have a business if it weren't for cheat days. They go hard and they enjoy it. And that is their reward, and that's what keeps their sanity. I know we're gonna talk about wellness and whatnot. We're gonna talk about food. I'll just preface that by saying that I do not have a six-pack, first of all. And second of all, I'm a big believer in the 80-20 rule, which is simply about doing the right things 80% of the time and not being 100% regimented and enjoying yourself 20% of the time. That's the key to sustainability. The other thing I'll say is when we talk about sustainability, I see wellness. Sustainability is the 3 Ps, people, planet, profit. For those of you that are familiar with that. Wellness is the people portion of sustainability. This is how people have longevity in life, in business, whatnot. So I'm not gonna read that to you. You can all read it. You're all functioning adults. So we'll just jump into it. So why is this important? Anybody here essentially not on the clock at the moment? Nope. Well, the point being is that you're all being paid to listen to this. I'm not going to disclose how much money I got, but it was a lot to be here. No, I'm just kidding.
That's gonna hurt later.
The point being is that time was set intentionally for the day. Resources were invested in this. This is not something that the organization is taking lightly. And as someone who has hired speakers previously, I'm very honored to be here and thank you for having me. But I want to make sure all of you realize that this isn't just a tactic or something of that nature, but that there's real care here because happy, healthy people are way more fun to work with. So, and you've all worked together we were talking earlier, I said, what's average tenure here? Everyone just gives each other so much crap. I was like, there's magic in this building because everyone's worked together for so long. It's amazing. So I just wanted to pause and put some intention behind what we're trying to do today, and we'll jump into it. Also, for those of you, in case there are cynics in the room, I like to show this slide about corporate wellness being an $8 billion con. He's nodding his head, of course. Now, this was a big, long article. I'll distill it real quickly for all of you. What it came down to is when wellness isn't done with intentionality and up and down the entire chain of command, it doesn't work. So if an executive says, we need to do wellness, and the individual contributors at the bottom of the line aren't able to actually be well, it's broken, right? Because somewhere in that leadership chain, someone's not allowing that, and there's a breakdown. And that when you do wellness comprehensively, it needs to be known that this is company policy, and that if you aren't able to take your mental health days or whatever the structure of your corporate wellness program is, that needs to be talked about. So it is not a top-down initiative per se. It is a holistic initiative where people need to manage up if they aren't able to do the things that they need to do. Okay, here's what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to talk about what is wellness. We're going to actually read the definition of it. We're going to talk about mindfulness and stress. We're going to talk about movement, what we did, why it matters. We're going to talk about meals and how they impact you. And then we're going to talk about meaning and your team. Sound good to everybody? Yeah. Yes? Okay. You're welcome to raise your hand and shout things out at me. For the duration of this, I'm happy with an interactive crowd. It means you're thinking, it means you're processing things. So if there's something that jumps out at you, feel free to raise your hand or throw an object at me and see if I duck. Okay. This is the official definition. This is really like the only portion I'm going to read word for word, which is, what is wellness? When you look it up, it is the quality or state of being in good health, especially, and here's my favorite part, as an actively sought goal. It doesn't say a destination. It doesn't say have a BMI of this. It doesn't say have a caloric intake of this or a cholesterol level of that, anything of that nature. It's an actively sought goal. My favorite thing to say is, when you pursue wellness, you find well-being. Has anybody heard of toxic wellness? No. Anybody ever heard of Goop?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow's wellness brand? Oh yeah, the light bulbs are coming on. Toxic wellness is what happened there because everyone was measuring themselves against each other. Did you meditate today? Did you meditate today? How long did you meditate? I meditated for blah, 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 da, 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 da. Wellness means different things to different people. That's the big key takeaway here, is that this is not a one-size-fits-all solution. I jokingly say someone, it might be yoga and meditation. Someone else, it might be working out till they want to throw up. Someone else might be a scotch by the fire. And there's another person who wants to do yoga and then have a scotch. Or they want to do yoga by the fire, whatever. The idea being is it's Tetris for you to find what your wellness is, and it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. We break it down to 4 things: mindfulness, movement, meaning, and meals. I don't know if that was in the same order, but same. So let's talk about stress. Has anybody seen this chart before? Nope. I'm going to stand out of the way. Okay, the top is 4 meetings in a row with no break. Have you all felt that before?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. The bottom is 4 meetings in a row with breaks in between the meetings. Weird, right? Who'd have thought? Think about yourself. Think about your calendars. Think about, there's a fun little thing that you can do. I don't know, do you guys, you're not a Google shop, right? You don't use Google Calendar here? Microsoft, okay. I don't know if it's in Outlook or not, but in Google Calendar, you can, there's a setting where you can select speed meetings, and they're only 25 minutes. So it gives you a 5-minute buffer at the end. It's like take a little breather, get up from your desk, do whatever you want to do, but it gives you that buffer. So when you're looking at your calendars, accommodate for this. If you are seeing your calendar starting to fill up, block off some time for yourself. It doesn't have to be an hour. It doesn't have to be long. Just enough time for you to go do something else to shake your brain up. There's a doctor who, I'm blanking on the name of the book at the moment, but before he would go into a patient's room, every single patient, he would stop at the door and count to 15 slowly. So that brought him present, so that when he went into that room, he was there for that patient. He wasn't bringing the previous patient stuff with him. And when you go back to back like that, you can take a lot of things that rolls over and will essentially decrease your productivity as well as increase your stress level. So win-win, right? I'm going to play this video because we're going to talk a little bit about mindfulness next. It's not a sales pitch. There is a study behind it. I'm happy to share it. But for some people get skeptical of this stuff, so I'm going to play it.
We've done studies with novice meditators. We were curious to see what kind of biological changes would take place in 1 week if you went all in. We draw blood and we look at about 2,882 metabolites. And at the end of 7 days, the novice meditators, almost 100% of them, show substantial biological changes in their blood that suggest that they're living in a different environment. Now here's the weird part about it. They're actually making those changes inwardly. And I say to our research team, where are those chemicals coming from? Where are they coming from? The person's not taking any substance. It's coming from within us. And so the nervous system starts manufacturing a whole pharmacy of chemicals equal to the person's intention and emotional state.
I know the music was dramatic. It's the message, though.
Yeah.
Like, we are capable of so much. So that's why we're going to talk about mindfulness and what it is. Does anybody meditate? One person. Has anybody tried meditation? Bunch of people. Did you fall asleep?
Once.
Me too. Yeah. When we went into the pandemic, we were 3 months in. I was trim, I was tan, I wasn't traveling, so I was eating well at home consistently every day. I was working out in my side yard in the sunshine in the East Bay. And I was miserable. And so I started meditating. And basically it turned into afternoon naps. But I tried it. And you know what? Every time I woke up, felt great. And I was like, I don't know if that's what meditation's supposed to do, but my mood says yes. So that's the thing. This isn't here to tell you you need crystals and to go to a yoga retreat and all those things. This is try things. Try things that might make you feel better. Download the Headspace app. See if it works. You might get super into it, and then everybody in the office is going to be annoyed by you. But you might also get some great naps in. So who knows, right? You just don't know what the outcome is. The beauty of all of this is trying things. This is the definition of mindfulness, which is a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness of the present moment. For me, and actually someone else I talked to, workouts was our meditation. Because the whole thing with meditation is being present and being aware. And when you're in a dark place in an intense CrossFit workout, you can't think about anything else except your heart rate, your breath, and when the hell is this over? But you're present. You're not thinking about, oh, I got to do this when I get home or blah, 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 blah. You are present in the moment. And so that's what I like to think of it, that it can be anything. More importantly, what it isn't meditation. It doesn't have to be that. It can be that, but it may not be for you. Doom scrolling. We've all done that when crazy news comes out. Or the Zoom fatigue that we saw earlier of back-to-back meetings. These are some tips on how to make it happen. What we're going to do now is we're going to stand up again. We're going to do that shakeout thing. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through how box breathing works. Has anybody heard of box breathing? One person? 2 people? Were you a Navy SEAL by any chance? Okay.
You should be.
Now, I ask that because actually this is a technique the U.S. Navy SEALs use for when they're politely in the shit and their lives are on the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to spike our heart rate and we're going to sit down and we're going to try it. But I'm going to walk you through it now so that way you can sit down and you know what's going to happen. So what you do is you inhale for, you don't have to do it yet, but thank you. You're going to inhale for a count of 4 seconds. I'm going to count it out for you. You're going to hold for 4 seconds. You're going to exhale for 4 seconds. And then you're going to hold for 4 seconds. And you do that 4 times. So what that will do is bring down it actually triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, which is, everyone's heard of fight or flight, right? That is your sympathetic nervous system, which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I think sympathy, I think sympathetic, I think sympathy, I think calm, but it's the opposite. So fun fact there. So we're going to spike our heart rate, then we're going to sit down, we're going to do 2 or 3 of these, and you're going to feel how your heart rate just really comes down. So, okay, are we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out loud, come on. You gotta say it with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And sit down. For time. Let's go. Okay, now everybody close your eyes. We're gonna inhale for 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. How do you feel?
Chill.
Good.
Yeah.
Very talkative group. Awesome. Love it. How are we feeling? We feel like this is hocus pocus, woo-woo nonsense? We good? We enjoying it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you are. So that's an easy way. If you are in a stressful situation, I think this might, I don't know what the office is like. It seems like everyone has a good time for the most part here. But if someone's really annoying you, you can do this. I would also equate this to if you had an angry customer at a venue. We talked about yesterday for a speaking gig when there's like an angry person at the front desk. I was talking to a hotel group that, like, because of their status, they didn't get this or they didn't get that or whatever. When somebody's upset, you can say, okay, let me go get someone. And then you and the manager can do a couple box breaths before you come back out. And then you can interact with that guest in a much more calm, calculated manner where you're not throwing a chair like a Waffle House. We've seen the videos. Okay. The other thing you can do is take a break. You guys have this great little area out here. Like if things are just, you're feeling that angsty stuff, pop outside, sit on the stairs, take a few deep breaths. There's sunshine, there's greenery. All that stuff is great for you. One of the certifications I have is a Delos Wellness certification at events, and that's really about environmental stuff. So fun fact about, we're going to talk about sleep in a little bit, but they tell you, like, avoid blue light before sleep, right? You guys have all heard that? I want to hear everyone say yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
No. I haven't heard of blue light.
Do you have a cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So blue light is what is on most cell phones. That's why they say avoid blue light. What color is the sky?
Blue.
That's the correlation. It's very simple. Yeah, that's why you're awake, that's why you're alert, and that's why blue light keeps your attention on your phone. So blue sky, blue light triggers your brain to be alert. But sunshine is good for you. So what I'm getting at here is your environment will impact how you feel. And so if you're having a stressful day, get outside. You have fresh air right there. You can sit on the stairs, take a few deep breaths, enjoy the garden. Hopefully the water feature will be running again soon. And you can just listen to that and you can zen out. I think I just poked something because there are some people that laughed harder than others when I said that.
Trigger for some.
Yeah, I heard. That's why I was like, okay, well.
Where's the building?
I didn't write.
Oh, yeah, wait. All right, okay. No, this ends here. Breathe. Just breathe. Okay, box breathe. Box breathe. When somebody asks you about box breathe. That was fast. Whew.
I'm good. I'm good. I tune all of you out.
This room's about to turn into a Waffle House. Okay, you can play a game on your phone. That might bring you some joy. Those little micro breaks you get, take advantage of them. Or you can just go for a walk. Or some people like to journal. I don't, but some people do. Some people like to get their thoughts out and write things down. Great, whatever works for you. These are just examples. Okay, next we're going to talk about movement, which we've done enough of, so I don't think I'm going to make you do any more movement. But this is a really, really fun study with more dramatic music, but I hope you enjoy.
I'm interested in all psychology, all neuroscience, and this is, I think, the most interesting finding of the last decade in all of science. And this is the insight that your muscles are basically an endocrine organ that secrete hormones into your bloodstream that affect every system of your body. Your muscles, they secrete chemicals and proteins when you exercise that are also really good for your brain health. And one of the first papers, almost 10 years ago, and that was published explaining that when you contract your muscles, they literally secrete these proteins into your bloodstream that make you resilient to stress and can protect you from depression. The scientists called them hope molecules. This idea that literally your muscles are manufacturing like antidepressant molecules. And the only way to get them into your bloodstream, where they can then travel to your brain, is you have to contract your muscles. Like, that's it. It's like a pharmacy in your muscles. And anything you do that contracts them, walking, hiking, running, dancing, weightlifting, like swimming, anything, you are going to be dumping hope molecules into your bloodstream that when they get to your brain, they work as an antidepressant. And they also help people recover from trauma. Like that's like a miracle. Because of course it's wonderful when medications work for you, but for so many people, medications don't work or they don't do the full job in terms of helping with mental health. And the idea that your muscles could provide you with the equivalent of something like an antidepressant medication, that is, I think it's phenomenal.
More dramatic music, of course. But the point being is, there's a book called Spark, which this is, the study is quoted in there as well. And it's the first opening chapter. It's written by an MD named John Rady. And he talks about this school in Indiana where they made PE mandatory in the morning, and they saw their test results skyrocket because a spent body is a focused mind, and let alone, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but the things that happen physiologically when you move that benefit your brain are significant. So my favorite one here, it might be different for others, but this Chilean study about these high school students that exercise 3 days a week, not 4 or 5 or 6, just 3 days a week instead of 1, had a 14% drop in their anxiety. So I don't know what people's health and wellness adventure has been like in here. I know I had a strong example where I worked at a company where I would leave for lunch to go to the gym and come back. And then my boss sat me down about the perception of me being gone for 90 minutes during lunch. And I was like, well, am I getting my work done? Well, it seems like it, but there's just a perception in the office. So I quit going to the gym for 3 months. And I noticed the quality of my work substantially failed or fell off. I was not doing as high quality of work as I was when I was taking time away because of exactly this. Movement is good for us. We are made to move. That's why we're up on 2 feet. We're made to go do things. I'm not going to say you have to do CrossFit. I'm not going to say you have to swim. I'm not going to say you have to do anything, but do something. The other thing that's really interesting, do we have any runners? 1, 2. You familiar with runner's high? Everyone's heard of runner's high? Yeah, it's the same hormones that chocolate and marijuana release. It's the same thing in your body that happens, that gets produced. I mean, it's California, so you can get it artificially if you want. But you can also manufacture it yourself. Those last 2 videos, what did they talk about? They talked about what your body is capable of producing. These are the things that pass through the blood-brain barrier. So when you go move, you're actually helping your brain and making yourself smarter, which is a really crazy but not that groundbreaking concept when you pause and really think about it. This one is, I'm actually just going to skip this video. What it talks about is the actual production of what happens with a high bout of intensity. workout. Like, let's say we did the last portion of that workout we did in here for longer. Your brain produces a hormone called BDNF. It's called a brain-derived neurotropic factor. I actually just saw it in another email today about these studies, that when you move, the hormones you produce they promote brain development. It promotes neuroplasticity. It strengthens your cardiovascular system in 4 different ways. It reduces weight, because some people feel like they should weigh differently than they do. It elevates your stress threshold, which that's really interesting. It lifts your mood, obviously, because you're high. That was a joke. It also boosts your immune system. When you put your body through something, it learns how to repair itself. And by constantly doing that, you're getting all these benefits because your body is more alert, it's more on ready. If you think about the military, they constantly do drills, right? So they're prepared. When you go out and move, that's what you're doing for your immune system and the rest of your body. You're running them through drills. It's safe, controlled drills where you know what the outcome is going to be, but then they are better, your immune system is better trained to fight things that want to harm you. It boosts motivation. So there's a small part of your brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. I don't know if anybody in here listens to Andrew Huberman. You might feel certain ways about him now. There's been some stuff that came out about him, but he's still a neuroscientist and knows his stuff. He did an interview with a gentleman named David Goggins, which you might have heard of. You clearly have. He's this like ultra marathoner, Navy SEAL, blah, 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 can do everything. And he talked about how he hates to run, yet he runs these crazy races. So this study they talked about is when you do something on a regular basis that you don't like to do. Could be working out, could be cold plunges, could be your taxes, but you shouldn't be doing that regularly. But when you do the things you don't want to do, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex grows. So your brain actually grows every time you do something you don't want to do. Why that matters? What that means is they are finding that that is essentially the willpower center of your brain, which is also tied, potentially, the studies are not conclusive yet, to your will to live. So like when you've heard of people who get diagnosed with terminal illnesses, and they're like, no, this isn't going to take me. The example that just pops to mind is Lance Armstrong. He did a lot of good. Like the top 50 all got disqualified, so I think he still won. Anyways, but he trained hard every day. He did the things that were uncomfortable. And when he got that diagnosis, he's like, nope, I don't care. I'm going to beat this thing. And that is the will to live. That's important. His anterior mid-cingulate cortex was probably huge. So there's something to be said there for regular discomfort. And then the last thing is it also regulates meals and food. This is from that book called Spark. Exercise is effective as certain medications for treating anxiety and depression. I think that's massive. There are a number of people that, and my wife's, her focus, her company is called Nutrition by a Physician, and her focus is when somebody's on high blood pressure medicine or type 2 diabetes or things of that nature, she builds nutrition plans to basically get them off their meds, because the amount of things we can do with our body is massive. What counts as movement? Everything. As long as you're moving, there's nothing you shouldn't be doing. Like, just do something. That's the message. Who cares? Whatever you enjoy. Maybe your anterior mid-cingulate cortex won't grow if you're enjoying it, but if you like Zumba, great. If you like walking, great. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Do what you like to do and just keep doing it. I've been asked before, what's the most effective workout? I say the one you keep doing. It's basic. Okay, we're going to talk about food and fuel. This is my favorite video about nutrition.
5 small meals per day and run. Also, only eat breakfast and dinner and walk. Also, eat lots of protein and lift, and actually don't do any cardio, it's bad for your joints. Also, don't eat too much protein and make sure you're sleeping a lot, but don't be sedentary. But don't be too active, it's bad for your blood pressure. Make sure you replace all your lost salt, but never eat too much sodium. It's easy, just eat vegetables, but don't eat potatoes or corn. Fruit is obviously good for you, and also it's all sugar and it's bad for you. Sugar, I forgot to mention, is a vital source of quick burning carbohydrates that your brain needs to survive, and you should avoid it at all costs. Protein is hurting your kidneys, which is drink water. Never starve yourself, unless you're calling it intermittent fasting, and then it's okay to starve yourself. Don't overhydrate. Being vegan is obviously the healthiest lifestyle, and also no, it's not. Fish is obviously super good for you, and it's full of mercury and killing you. Simple, right?
Is that relatable?
Oh, God, yes.
Another thing that was in that McKinsey study is people are done with influencers, fitness influencers and whatnot. I just saw this video yesterday, and this guy is making fun of it. He's like, he comes out of sauna. He goes, so I just finished my 3-hour sauna. I made $1 million. I read 4 books, and I ate 200 grams of protein. And he's making fun of like these wild claims. This is basic stuff. There's nothing you can't eat. I'm sorry, I keep standing directly in front of you. There's nothing you can't eat. But eat the things you know you probably shouldn't eat in moderation. Like, if you have kids, you know, they would eat cake all day if they could. I would eat cake all day if I could. But we know it's just not going to sustain us. You would eat cake all day. It's about balance. That's it. I mean,
Cookies too then.
yeah. So usually, well, I talk a lot about this in regards to events. You'll see a buffet line at an event I do. There's always dessert because I want dessert. But the end result might be, or at like 24, there was cookies or some type of carby, sugary, fatty dessert that was delicious. But next to it, there's like whole fruit. So either or, you give people agency. There's not a lot to dwell on food because it's really just about balance. It's not about regimented strictness. Now, if your doctor has you on a diet of some particular thing, low sodium or something of that nature, I am not circumventing that diagnosis by any means, as I am not a doctor. And if they have you doing something, please follow it. I'll leave it at that. Here are 9 brain foods. Michelle has this list, so she can share it with all of you. But if you want to get smarter, start including these things in your diet. Dark chocolate's in the bottom left. I like to point that out. The one in the center that says whole eggs, not powdered, didn't go over well at the hotel yesterday. The chef gave me a stink eye when I said that. But it, like, am I surprising anyone with any of this stuff? No. It's stuff we all know. This just actually breaks down the actual benefits of each of these. I love to put this stuff out on the buffet and actually have people see it and read it. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna load up on the blueberries because the antioxidants and the bubble, whatever. So it's a fun way to do that. We're gonna jump into meal hacks. How many people travel in here? Anybody? Okay. So for our travelers, I'm a fellow traveler. I always chase protein. I try to eat 1 gram per pound I weigh every day. That's my goal. And then usually, depending on where I am and what else is offered on the menu, I may or may not eat the sides, or I stick with like fruits and vegetables. What's funny is down here it says intermittent fasting. That's simply for caloric control overall. Before you start it, if you've never done it before, talk to your doctor first, please. Also, I will send stuff to my hotel rooms before I get there, so it's there waiting for me. And then if you have a protein shaker cup, they make these little stackable things, and I use that as my water bottle, because then I can put stuff in it, and it doubles as both. So just some stuff that works for me that I thought I'd share. Okay, everybody ready for a nap or meditation? Let's talk about sleep. I'm gonna play this video for you on how sleep works.
Probably get into bed, wind down, close your eyes, and that's it. And then you wake up and it's a new day. But what happened during those 8 hours? Did your body and brain shut off? Or is there something more going on? How does sleep work?
Hi, I'm Dave from Sleep Foundation.
It's easy to think that when we fall asleep, we're slipping into a uniform state of passive rest and sedation. But sleep isn't just one thing. It's actually a multifaceted and very active process broken up into 4 stages, each with their own goals and objectives. First, there is that hazy period right when you start to fall asleep, and you don't really know the difference between being awake and being asleep. This is called N1 sleep, and it lasts anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. Next, you enter the N2 phase. This is where your brain activity slows down along with your heartbeat and respiratory rate. This stage can be as short as 10 minutes, but as long as an hour. The next stage is called N3, also known as deep sleep. The brain activity during this period has a pattern known as delta waves, and this stage is critical to restoring your body and mind. This delta wave activity processes your memories and experiences from the day, while your body releases growth hormone to repair muscle tissue, regrow bone cells, and strengthen.
That's legal growth hormone, by the way.
Finally, you enter N4, the famous rapid eye movement or REM sleep. During this stage, your brain is almost as active as it is when awake. There is evidence that REM sleep contributes to insightful thinking, creativity, and memory. This is also the stage of sleep when you have the most vivid dreams. But dreams are more than just a series of surreal images. They serve as kind of a mental housekeeping to clean up partial or unnecessary information. These 4 stages repeat in about 90-minute increments throughout the night. Depending on how long you sleep, your body may go through this cycle 5 to 6 times in an evening. This complex and multi-stage cycle is known as your sleep architecture, and it's the basic structural organization of sleep. So look, it's easy to think you're just resting when you fall asleep, but there's so much more going on, as complex processes are at work, restoring your body, cleaning out your brain, and preparing you for the day ahead. Thanks for watching, everyone. Sleep well.
All right, sleep. So it's important, it's necessary, and it's the best part is you burn fat while you're sleeping, which is fantastic. I find when I get more sleep, I actually am leaner. It's a very interesting thing. It's also tied to a reduction in stress, a reduction in anxiety. I mean, anybody ever got 8 hours of sleep and woke up and went, oh, I feel terrible?
Never.
No, you feel amazing. Get rid of that blue light before bed. There's all kinds of sleep hygiene tips online. Look it up. I'm not a sleep expert by any means, but it's important. It's super important, and it really can undermine all these other efforts you're doing if you're only getting minimal amounts of sleep every night. And if you have new kids, I'm sorry. Okay, last topic we're going to talk on is meaning and purpose. This is pretty straightforward. This is the definition of meaning: important or worthwhile quality. Purpose. This is what I was talking about in the very beginning. This is a up and down the chain of command from executives to individual contributors. Your purpose as to why you do what you do and what your job is. I mean, here in this office, you support a lot of people, right? There's 300 restaurants. Okay. So there's a lot of people counting on you. And this is headquarters, right? Mm-hmm. So think about what you do and think about how you approach your teammates. Think about how you work together. The vibe in here was amazing. And I felt it as soon as I walked in. I think what's happening in here is magic. There's a reason you all have been here for as long as you have. I'm sure you're all grateful that there weren't child labor laws so that so many of you could start when you were a toddler, given the tenure you have here. But I think the thing I can tell in a room very quickly is like this is something y'all understand. And as much of this as you can give to the rest of the organization and perpetuate so that people feel like they're a part of that, keep doing it. And if it can get all the way to the guests in the restaurants, that's going to change people. And it's going to keep them coming back. The other thing is build connections with people. So when you talk to people, it's okay to have some what might seem in the moment frivolous small talk, but ask people how they are and actually listen. And if you know them, you're going to know when they're off. And if they're off, say, when you say, hey, how you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm okay. Are you though? Give them that opportunity, give them that space to connect with you, especially if you know each other, so that, because they might just be like, actually, I'm not. And you never know. And just being there for someone in that simple conversation, they might be okay for the most part, they just need to get something off their chest. You can be that sounding board. Or you might need to send them to HR. You know, it depends on the situation. But by opening yourself up and being vulnerable and providing that opportunity to connect with them, you're going to have stronger relationships. And I'm not saying that your work will be your purpose in life, but you'll like coming to work a whole heck of a lot more if you like the people you work with, right? You spend as much time here as you do with the people at home. And if you're having fun in both, then you're winning. There's a documentary on Netflix called Blue Zones. I don't know if some people are nodding, they've seen it. It is essentially that if people don't wake up with purpose, so it's for those of you that aren't familiar with it, is a study of these, I think it's 5 or 6 places on the planet where people live to be over 100 years old. They have these large populations they're called centurions, and purpose is a key element. It's what keeps people getting out of bed. So while you're inflicting, or not inflicting, but finding that purpose here, also think about what you're doing outside of work. I don't know what the policy is here on give back programs and things of that nature, but if there are opportunities for you to go get involved in your community, I know there's a Little League field across the street, so go get involved. Find something that brings you purpose in what you're doing. And that ties to the community, right? So I think about the Little League team because I grew up 4 blocks from here, and I went to Rosemary, but the Little League team always needed, you know, sponsorships, and there was local restaurants and stuff like that would sponsor the Little League teams and things of that nature to give back to that community that made those sports possible. So that's all I'm going to say. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself. That's what real purpose is. So with that, I say now it's time for the excuses, because everybody always usually has an excuse as to why they can't do this. I'm too busy. I got da. Think about it. Let's jokingly say meditate about it. But think about it, and think about if you are getting in your own way for taking care of your own well-being. And that's it. Thank you. I think I went a little long. I apologize. Do we have any questions?
Did you play on the field over here?
So, in a, I guess, an opportunity to be vulnerable and connect with people, no, I was not allowed to play because I actually grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. And so I was always going to church and stuff. So I was not allowed to play Little League. But that's why it's like such a special place for me, because I'd come and play on Saturday afternoons when nobody else was there. So I know it seems sad, but it's fine. I wouldn't be able to speak like this had I not been raised like that. Any other questions?
Yeah, do you have a, when you're traveling and you're networking and the agenda's not your agenda, so because sleep is so important, what do you do mentally to gear up knowing you're going to go to sleep? Do you ever like brush your teeth, wash your face, you know, blah, blah, blah? I mean, what do you ramp up towards sleep?
Yeah. I will usually, my sleep hygiene routine, especially if I'm at an event, ideally the event is over by 9 or 10 o'clock at night at the latest. And if it isn't, I leave. Mm-hmm. I just disengage. I know what I need, so I will just, if it's like a party, if there's a party that starts at 9, I'm not going. There's a big industry conference that you will probably be going to called IMEX. They do this party called Rendezvous. Right, and last year, they're like, oh, I'll see you at Rendezvous? I was like, no. They're like, why not? I was like, it starts at 9. And they were like, are you 70? What's your problem? I'm like, no, I like my sleep. I want to go to bed. It's okay. I get to my room, brush my teeth, comb my hair. brush it out before, I don't like naughty, I don't like wake up with a bird's nest. Put my cap on, and then I will I usually listen to something. I'll put my phone. Phones usually have timers where they'll shut off after a certain amount of time, and I'll play either something relaxing or a book or some type of thing that really helps initially draw my thoughts to it, so I'm not running myself through the day. Because there are those of us who lay in bed and we're like, I didn't do this, I need to do that, I forgot to do this, and you start going through all those things and you never slow down. So I'll do that, or if it's a particularly stressful day, I might do a little box breathing. But whatever I can do that's going to take my attention out of the moment and distract me a little bit, and then my phone's set to turn off after 15 or 20 minutes, so that then I don't have to wake up and turn it off. It just shuts off and off to non-existent dreamland I go. Ari.
So why is it called box breathing? I really expected something where you shove your face in a box.
He got it.
Sorry.
So it's 4 seconds for each one, for 4 things, 4 times, thus creating a box. So in, hold, out, hold, and then you do that 4 times.
For 4 seconds.
For 4 seconds each. Yep. Yeah. Yes.
Hey, just a question. My aunt passed away 3 or 4 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's my cousin told me that on the death certificate it said inability to thrive. She basically passed away. So is that purpose driven, that she had no purpose any longer?
Inability to thrive.
Literally, she told me it said inability to thrive.
That's interesting.
And so, it's with lack of purpose, and she wasn't extremely healthy, but she didn't exercise, I know that, and stuff. So is that just, I understand, people retire and then they don't last too long if they don't have a purpose. Something else has to take that.
Well, first I want to preface what I'm about to say, that the fact that I'm vastly underqualified to answer your question properly. But second, I've never...
Didn't stop any of us.
Right, okay. Why did he look at you when he said that?
I did not.
Okay, Dan, I know.
It was a good career, 44 guys.
Been nice working with you.
Yeah, thank you. Several seconds.
That's a heartbreaking thing to be on the death certificate.
It was just it was a surprise.
Wow. Do you mind if I ask how old she was?
Late 70s.
Okay, my dad passed when he was 78, but that was congestive heart failure. That was not that. I don't know, but maybe. If she got to a point where her quality of life was, she was kind of living withdrawn and wasn't socializing with people. The thing they talked about in that Blue Zone documentary is, these centurions, these 100-year-olds are going at, they go out, they garden. They go up and down steps, they go up and down stairs, they're going up and down hills. Almost every population is in a hilly area, which is interesting because it helps give them activity. And they garden and they move and they have friends and they have dinners together. And there's one of them is in Singapore, but there in Singapore, multi-generational families live together. So the grandparents are helping raise the kids, right? And so it's this engagement. And isolation, the Surgeon General issued a loneliness pandemic, or not pandemic, but epidemic. There's an epidemic of loneliness. And when you are isolated and not around people, that's why we did all that movement together, is it gives you a sense of community and it gives you a sense of connection. And so if she was not taking care of herself physically and not taking care of herself kind of emotionally, and mentally with her friends or hanging out with people or doing things or activity, do you want to live anymore? You're kind of what's the point? So I'm not, like I said, I'm not diagnosing. I don't know what the situation was, but it could have been she just
lost a
lived. Yeah, she just lived in too much of an isolated bubble. So. Oh boy, here we go.
Question on your thoughts between exercising in the morning versus night? You mentioned the state that it puts you in, during the day.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to talk about circadian rhythm. Everyone's heard the term, right? That's like our natural body clock. In the morning, if you have to, here's how I do my workouts based on what I have learned. I do cardio-focused workouts first thing in the morning, like 3 days a week. And I do that to drive my BDNF levels and all those hormones and all that stuff for then. The morning is a great time to work out. There's basically 2 times to work out. Morning is a great time to work out for brain function. But it has to be, well, it doesn't have to be, apologies. Ideally, it is a high intensity workout that really gets your heart rate up so that you produce all those hormones. You can do a much shorter workout first thing in the morning. Let's call it a HIIT workout or some type of interval cardio, and it has shown to spike those hormone levels, those brain hormone levels. Then right after lunch, we all experience this thing called a postprandial dip, which is the afternoon slump that we've all felt. And on the other side of that, you are actually very strong and able to do tasks and think critically and whatnot. It's one of the reasons that they do after-school sports when they do. Because in the afternoon, your motor skills are very high, your body's fully awake, you're usually fueled up, you have energy, and you can do those types of things. So I lift 3 days a week in the afternoons, and I alternate my days. So like this morning was a cardio workout, and I'm done for the day. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll lift. So that's how I break up my day. I always found I was stronger in the afternoon anyways. And that's just because your body is fueled up, you have glucose in your muscles, all that stuff. So I would do what works for you from a mental standpoint. And if you're trying to rein in your diet, so to speak, or you're trying to be a little more regimented, I find workouts first thing in the morning do way better for mental discipline because you're like, I put in all this work, I'm gonna make it count all day. Did that answer?
Yeah, I've done both of them for years at a time, worked out in the morning for, years and then worked out right before I go to bed. And there's some, I don't know that it's cardio differences, but the differences that I notice is after my workout, if I was working out in the morning, I found myself literally falling asleep driving to work. So I started running at night, and I sleep really, really good.
Yeah, if your body is able to cool down and recover that quickly, great. I mean, for some people, when they spike your heart rate, your internal body temperature stays high. It can be up to 5-6 hours. And like for me, that would never work because if I'm warm, I can't sleep. Like, forget it. Oh, that's the other thing I do in my hotel room. It's like set the thermostat to like 65, which I'm sure makes a lot of people shudder. One person back there was like, yes, absolutely. Put me in the Arctic tundra. So I tend to struggle with late workouts. Like I do a 2 or 3 o'clock workout because otherwise I'm just too warm and then I can't fall asleep. But I kind of jokingly, we were talking about it yesterday, humans and us as a species are a miracle, right? Like the fact that we even exist and that we have this cells and all like the science behind all this stuff, there's no silver bullet for any of this stuff. You got to find what works for you because we are all totally different and a molecular scientific miracle that we even exist. So how your body functions is going to be so different than someone else's, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach. Okay, I'm like a solid 15 minutes over, so
Okay.
I apologize.
So any other questions for David while we have his undivided attention? No?
Squirrel.
Well,
I got
if
that
there are 1 or 2 great things that you're taking away from this morning's presentation, good for you, because I find him exhilarating, infectious, and a lot of fun to be around in the short time I've known David. So
Thank you for that
yeah.
borderline traumatizing word.
Yes, okay. Well, in any case, another round of applause for David Stevens.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
I have
Yes.
something for you.